Hey, Mr. T. It's Tony. As you can tell, my head's kind of shaved. I don't know what I did. Bad decision. But this is a pretty late turn-in, and I'm sorry. I'll get it before May, obviously, but sorry for doing it late. I haven't been doing online classes because my grades were already decent, so I didn't really think about it, and then I decided to start your project a little bit late, but I'm gonna get it in time. Turn in on time. There you go. And my topic today is roller coasters. This is a message to you. Hey, Mr. T, I hope everything is safe with you and your family. I just want to say thank you for being a great teacher this junior year for me. I had a great year, and that's thanks to you and my peers. I'm very excited to rejoin your class next year, and I hope I can get a at least. P.S. I pray that I can at least get an A- in this class. The history behind roller coasters. Roller coasters were first created in 1884. Lamarcus Adna Thompson was the first person who created the roller coaster, and Switchback Railway is the closest to relate to the first design. More history behind it. The first roller coaster was first made out of wood. The location of the first roller coaster was Coney Island. Fun facts about roller coasters. Roller coasters were created in America to save themselves from Satan. I learned that when I first learned that for the first time. I was like, that's creepy. One of the earliest coasters was in America. One of the earliest coasters in America was used to carry coals. Roller coasters are never, the loops are never circular. And the tallest roller coaster in the world is at at Six Flags in New Jersey. I don't even know the name of that. Here's like what we're gonna talk about, the physics behind it. The first thing we're gonna talk about is potential energy. Potential energy is almost like stored energy. An example of potential energy is a boulder on top of a hill that is about to roll down the hill. When the boulder is at the top of the hill, it will reach its max potential energy, and you'll find the least kinetic energy at the top of the hill. And we'll talk about kinetic energy after this. In a roller coaster, when you go high up and the roller coaster is the car is about to drop, the potential energy is at the top of the hill from where you're about to drop from. Sorry, I got poop brain for a second. Some more physics. Kinetic energy is the energy that an object has because of its motion. In a roller coaster, the kinetic energy is found when you reach the bottom of that tall hill that you came down from, and that's where you'll find the least potential energy. An example is sledding. When you sled from the top of the hill and you reach the ground, that is the highest point of kinetic energy. The next thing we'll talk about is momentum. Momentum, an easy definition for momentum is mass in motion. In a roller coaster, momentum is in use when the mass, which is the cart, is moving down the steep hill. An example of momentum is dominoes. When a domino tips over and hits the other domino, it will create momentum to push the other dominoes to fall. And that's why when you tip over a domino and you put in a straight line, it just falls continuously because the momentum from each domino is pushing it to fall down. Newton's first law of motion. When an object is in motion, it will stay in motion until an outside force acts upon it, and an object that is still will stay still until an outside force pushes it. In a roller coaster, the cart will maintain the forward velocity even when it's moving up the track, which is the opposite of the force of gravity. The outside force stopping it is the friction between the tracks and wheels. An example of Newton's first law is a motorcycle driving until he or she drives into a wall, which is this little art right there, a little cartoon thing. Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. In a roller coaster, when a ride goes up and down the hill, it creates different forces onto the track. A real-world example of Newton's first law is jumping. When you jump, your legs apply force to the ground, and the ground applies an equal and opposite reaction that propels you into the air. The next thing we'll talk about is gravity. Gravity is the force that pushes an object to the center of Earth. In a roller coaster, when you ride down a steep hill, the gravity helps the cart down that hill, which increases the speed as well. A real-world example is dropping a ball. If we didn't have gravity in Earth, that ball would just float and never touch the ground, or it'd never drop. But since we have gravity, the ball will drop onto the floor. Acceleration is the speed up or down of an object. In a roller coaster, acceleration is used when the roller coaster speeds up or slows down. The fastest roller coaster in the world is 0 to 149.1 miles per hour in 4 seconds. That's crazy. In the real world, acceleration is how fast Like an example is how fast a car can move from 0 to 60 miles per hour. Velocity is the speed up or slow down of an object that goes in one direction. In a roller coaster, you could go high up onto a tower. The velocity is how fast you go down that tower. The fastest tower drop in the world is 90 miles per hour. The law of conservation of energy states that within a closed system, energy can change form, but cannot be created or destroyed. In other words, the total amount of energy remains constant. On a roller coaster, energy from potential to kinetic and back again many times over and over the course of the ride. An example is when you push a book across a table. The energy from your moving arm is transferred from your body to the book, causing the book to move. Recap. Overall, roller coasters are an amazing experience, and if you really think about it, it includes so much physics, and I only gave you a small percentage of it. After doing some research on roller coasters, I even ended up learning a lot of cool stuff about roller coasters and physics behind it too. All formulas will be presented on the video I'm about to show. Alright, now we're gonna move it to the video part. Alright, I'm back. This is the second part of the video. This is the visual representation. I was gonna do an animation video like Alex did, your former student, but looking back then and looking at how much he worked on it, it did take him a decent amount of time, so I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to do a drawing. It's pretty much like him, but like a downgrade of it. So we're going to draw out the roller coaster right here. So first thing we're going to talk about is potential energy. Potential energy is at the top of the hill right here. Oops. This guy is potential energy. I'm gonna mark him as P. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a P. And the P is, so I'm gonna put PE is stored energy. Potential energy is like stored energy. So when it's at the top of the hill, it's stored up a lot of energy, and that's why we call it potential energy, because when it's at the top of the hill, it's storing up the energy, and while you're going down the hill, you're releasing that energy, which is what we're going to talk about next is kinetic energy, or short for KE. And kinetic energy is the energy that an object has because of its motion. Sorry, I'm using my presentation for the definitions because I can't memorize them on the top of my head. So kinetic energy is the energy that an object has because of its motion. Alright, I'm drawing a little something on the top of here too, because it's been hot in California lately. So that's potential energy is stored energy, and kinetic energy is energy that an object has because of its motion. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is we're talking about momentum. Then momentum is next. So here is my character, my little guy right here. So he is currently going down this ramp. Now momentum, I'm gonna put as P. I think the short term for momentum is in like P or something. I'm gonna put M. Momentum is, easy definition is mass in motion. There it is. So when you're riding down the hill that you're about to drop from, the momentum is being carried when it's riding down the thing because there is no resisting. If you were to go up it, then that'd be a different story. But momentum is being is increasing when it's currently going down it, which also increases in speed. And the next thing that we're going to talk about, let's talk about acceleration. Mark it as A. Acceleration is speed up or down of object. Sorry, my handwriting is completely horrible right now. So acceleration is the speed up or down of an object. And let me see if I can find what else we need to talk about. We can talk about gravity. Gravity is practically if you take this car and you drew a whole entire car flying all the way up in this way. If we did not have gravity, then pretty much the cart and us would be floating into the air, and maybe if the cart is flying high enough, you can reach the sun and burn. Don't want to do that. Let's see. Next thing that we need to talk about. In a roller coaster, we're talking about Newton's third law. In a roller coaster, when a ride goes up and down the hill, it creates different forces onto the track. So if it were to go right here, the forces on the track would be higher, I think, I'm guessing. If it were to go up the hill, it's higher, and when it goes down, it is lower. There's less force, or is it? I don't know for sure. I don't even know if I'm doing a good job on this presentation, honestly. Let's see what else we could talk about. Acceleration. Okay, this one's gonna be a whole different drawing. So pretend this is a platform. We are all the way. Chairs. I think there's chairs. I'm gonna put chairs down. So pretend we're all in this circle right here. Velocity is the speed up or down of an object in a given direction. So if you see one of those fast, like videos from where it's the top, like a high building, and they drop all the way down. I mean, I think Alex can edit a quick video. I don't know yet.
Hands up. Okay.
But this is a really bad drawing. So velocity is found when, obviously, it depends how fast it reaches the top part to the bottom, to the floor, or the bottom of the ride. So it goes straight down, and that's how you find velocity. And to find the, we're gonna talk about, I hope we're gonna talk about the equations right now. So potential energy, the equation for potential energy, come on, load up. Okay, here is the potential energy equation. It's gonna be mgh. The m represents the mass, which is what we're going to measure in kilograms. The g represents acceleration, which I'll change that right now. There you go. That looks like a Q. There you go. And the h represents height. So it depends how high it is. So yeah, I think that's pretty good explanation for that. The next thing that we're going to talk about is kinetic energy. Does it even have an equation? Yes, it does. Kinetic energy equals 1/2 mv squared. Well, again, m represents the mass, which is we're going to measure in kilograms. I think the v represents velocity. Yeah, velocity, which is the speed up or down of an object in a given direction. And then we're going to square the v, and then we're going to, I guess, multiply by 1/2 at the end. I don't know that for sure. Next equation, momentum, which I think it's P, right? Is it P? Yep, P. Momentum equals m times v. Momentum equals mass. We already talked about that, how heavy an object is, and then velocity, speed up or down of an object in a given direction. Velocity and acceleration, which is g. Pretty much the two of the same definitions, just one of them's in a given direction, one of them's in any direction. So it's going to be distance divided by time. Distance is how far an object is, time is how long it takes to get that distance. So say if you want to run 25 yards and it took 5 seconds, you get, wow, 5 seconds to run. Never mind. Wait. If you run 25 yards in 5 seconds, that's 5 yards in 1 second. I don't know if I can even do that. But what other equations can I have here? I think that'll be it for the presentation. this is a really messy like thing right here, and I'm sorry about that. I hope it's still a passing grade. But I think that's it. The overall view of it: potential energy, stored energy, acceleration is speed up or down of an object, momentum is mass in motion, kinetic energy is energy that an object has because of its motion. Here is representation of gravity. If we didn't have gravity, it'd be floating the whole entire time. And then I think that's it. Thank you for watching, Mr. T. I hope everything is well with you and your family. I hope is the restaurant still open? I hope the restaurant's still open. But I'll definitely see you next school year. Thank you for being a great teacher to me this year. I hope next year is the same thing. I hope it's a bit easy at least. I mean, AP is going to be hard, obviously, but I'm hoping it's a bit easy and less crazy, I guess. But I will see you this upcoming school year, Mr. T. Bye. Thank you for watching my presentation and my video, and I will send you a link to my essay. All right. Bye, Mr. T.